Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Monday, April 25th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hey, I noticed we have a new lead-in before us on WWDB, and boy, are we a contrast. Well, I don't say we're a contrast. We believe in a lot of the things that they believe in, but that guy yells too much, doesn't he? All right, anyway, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Truth Social, TikTok, and other social media by searching Larry Steinhouse. Hey, just a reminder, of course, if you're watching online, hit that like button. Come on, hit that like button. Hit that share button. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. Hey, by the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page on Facebook, your name may not show up on my dashboard, so please go to the Money Chat Now page, hit like, and comment from there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now, of course, is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com. There you're going to learn about real estate investing, stock options trading, and you're going to learn about it from those who do it every day. Oh, boy. All right, so real quick, before I get into today's topics, I want to just say hello to a few people online. Boy, it's lighting up. I'm sure it's all because of the event yesterday. We're going to be talking about that in a little while. Hey, it looks like we got Jim and Joe and Peter and Louis and Bill and Jose, and of course, my lovely bride, Linda. Thank you so much. Linda's my favorite fan, and I love it. All right, so on today's show, we're going to be discussing, of course, the futures update, or the futures down date. I don't know how you want to look at that. We're going to be talking about yesterday's event. Man, if you were there, you had a great time, and if not, you missed something great. We're going to be talking about the Saudis downsizing. We're going to be talking about electric lawn equipment and China locking down again. All right, let's get into it. Friday was a disaster. Man, at the end of my show on Friday, I predicted a down day, but I never expected a Dow of 981 points down in the Dow. Oh, holy cow. That's pretty insane. Wow. Well, it looks like Wall Street is about fed up with the Biden economy. I like calling it the Biden economy. Remember Reaganomics, when Reagan made the economy go up, and now we have the Biden economy making the economy go down? It's just such a fitting term. All right, I'm telling you right now, though, it's going to get ugly. You know, if you remember on Friday, I said that at 3:30 the market would start to recover. Well, for those of you who were paying attention at that moment, it actually did. It was kind of weird. But however, 15 minutes later, it just dropped off like a cliff. So we actually had a 3:30 rebound, which I expected, but somehow it just didn't hold. I don't know why. All right, I also had a couple of option plays that expired worthless on Friday, and of course that's never good, and it was truly ugly. Surprisingly, Twitter was a big mover. The stock still moved up through the rest of the tech, while the rest of the tech stocks plummeted. Twitter is moving up on the speculation that Musk will really take it over and really make it free speech again. You know, over the weekend, Twitter's board announced that they are reevaluating the takeover and considering it to be serious. Last week, we had the traitor of free speech, Barack Obama, make a speech on how we need to censor more media to save democracy. Ugh. Well, first of all, ex-president, maybe you should know that we are a republic, not a democracy. And second, censoring speech is against the Constitution, and it won't save either a democracy or a republic. Ugh. Of course, Elon Musk can't stay out of the news and confronted Bill Gates on a short play that Gates played on Tesla. So it even got more interesting because when Musk found out about this, he told Gates that any philanthropy deal that Gates wanted him to partner with was never going to happen because Gates shorted Tesla. Wow. Oh, the tangled web we weave. Amazing, right? Apparently, Gates wants Musk's money, but hopes he loses it first. I always wanted to be Warren Buffett, but screw that. My new rich hero is definitely Elon Musk. All right, Kimberly-Clark was also a winner on Friday when the company reported great earnings, and the stock popped. It really did really well. The stock is going to be interesting as we start moving towards the end of earnings season. We have three major players on deck coming up this week. We have Meta, Apple, and Google, and we have Google first on Tuesday. So first of all, it's first on Tuesday, and look, just so you know, we also have Microsoft. But when Meta moves up on Wednesday, and Apple on Thursday, we need them all to exceed expectations, or the market is done, and I mean done. Overnight, we had the Asian markets drop considerably. The Hang Seng was down over 3.5%. Now, here's the thing. When overseas markets drop, it's either a reaction to our market or it's a tell for our markets. In this case, either one could be the cause. It's going to be rough. I made a prediction by mid-March the Dow would be about 31,500 to 32,000, and if we get another Friday, it's going to happen before the end of the month instead of the middle of May. It's time for short positions or puts. I predict the market to be about 28,000 before the end of the year, and it'll probably stay there for a while. When I look at the chart of the Dow, my first thought is that we're coming up on, basically matching a bottom, and normally that would mean that the Dow would go up from here. The only problem is if it breaks through that bottom of about 32,500, we're going to hit another free fall, and it's definitely a dangerous moment. But remember, high risk often means high reward. All right, so right now we have the Dow futures are only down 159. Big change from this morning. They were down about 300 a little while ago. We have the S&P down 27, and we have the NASDAQ down 100. Hey, I want to talk about something yesterday. Real quick, actually, before I do that, I just want to see a couple of people who have joined us. We have Tommy joining us. We have, it looks like Larry joining us, James and Michael and Mark. Thanks so much for joining us. I always appreciate you guys. I always like it when you say hi so I can say hi back. All right. I want to talk about what happened yesterday. We had a great event yesterday, and I'm going to tell you something. It was just awesome. So I want to take a few moments to talk about it. It was at the Washington Crossing Inn, and it was definitely an epic event. The theme was exactly what the title said it would be. We discussed many ways to step up your finances, like being your own bank, buying houses in your IRA, paying less taxes, and making more money. In the freedom sections of our event, we even had speakers discussing how to never allow the government to come into our lives and take away our freedoms again. Bill Spadia from New Jersey 101.5 was discussing the freedoms that were taken away from New Jersey residents under the Nazi Governor Murphy. He also discussed how his Common Sense Club had fought back against the tyrannical leadership and kept pornography out of classrooms of kindergarten through third grade. And then we had the great Doug Mastriano. Oh, this guy, he's going to be fantastic. Who will be, I'm not even going to say he's a contender, I'm saying he will be the greatest governor in Pennsylvania when he is elected. He discussed how he will help make Pennsylvania Florida. He promises to be as active as DeSantis, and from what I have seen of this brilliant man, he will do just that. We even heard guest appearances of Alex Enton, who is running for local government in Bucks County. Everyone knows we need to get rid of the fake Republican Brian Fitzpatrick, so I hope Enton does win. And this guy would definitely, Fitzpatrick would have your children wearing masks all day long in school. And most importantly, make sure you vote in the primaries. Make this a priority. My dream ticket, believe it or not, is Mastriano, of course, for governor, Dr. Oz for Senate, and I've met with both of them personally, and I'm absolutely convinced of their good nature and their good intentions to stop the tyranny. Doug Mastriano has led the fight to end mask mandates, and Dr. Oz is the only one that I believe that can go against Dr. Frodsky. I also want to thank the attendees of yesterday's event, and Dr. Frodsky was not there. If he was, he probably wouldn't have made it out of there. All right, I also want to thank everyone else who was there, and it was a lot of fun, and it was high energy. It was definitely the best event we ever hosted. And by the way, speaking of Twitter earlier, right, my Twitter feed lit up with mentions of the event. So I want to thank you all who came out and supported it. You were there meeting us. If you were there meeting us for the first time, we hope to see you again in the classes in investor schooling, and hopefully we will see you there this Thursday night. In fact, I'll tell you something interesting. Even Bill Spadia was talking about it all morning. I was listening to his show this morning. I even called in. We had a nice conversation about it. I'm telling you, it was so much fun, and I'm hoping you guys will join us for the next one. All right, well, yesterday, by the way, we had the France elections, and it was unbelievable. Sometimes I wonder if the world really wants communists and terrorists in office. It amazes me the weakness of the leaders in the various countries. There are no strong leaders anywhere in any country except for, believe it or not, Zelensky in the Ukraine. I have to say it, but Putin also shows grit. But if you look at the weak leadership of the other countries, and you look at our country, you're going to see our army, seriously, our army discussing what pronouns they should refer to each other with instead of building up a force to be reconciled with. It's unbelievable. It used to be that a drill sergeant would tease a new soldier by calling him a girl. Now it's required to call him a girl. Can you imagine the cute pink uniforms our soldiers will be wearing in the future? Ugh. They would all slap the approaching army and say, "Now stop that already!" Wow, was I allowed to make that joke? Are the fact checkers going to actually, pop up on my Facebook screen and say, gay and transgender people are just as normal as, normal people are? That would be weird, wouldn't it? Anyway, in France, the party that wants normalcy, the one they call the extreme right conservative party, the party that wants no extremes at all, just lost the election. That means the coward Macron will continue to be in office. The coward did make an announcement saying that he would address the concerns of the right side, but, that will clearly be lip service, or maybe it will be more like, we'll address the concerns of the right side. You're going to jail, you're going to jail, you're going to jail, you're going to jail. He could be like Oprah. And I got to tell you, the right side is not much different than our right side with trying to stop the government overreach and massive illegal immigration into France. Like I said, the whole world has gone nuts. I said to the audience yesterday during the Freedom and Finances event that I wasn't much of a study of history, but then I continued about how I don't need to study it at all. I'm actually living it right now. It's amazing. All right. Real quick, I want to talk about Saudi downsizing. We're running a little over, but that's cool. All right. You remember the term that was big in 2008? The term downsizing? This was when your parents were no longer making the money they used to make and could no longer afford the big house, fancy car, and other goodies you as a teenager were used to. So instead of saying things like, "we're broke," they would say things like, "we're downsizing." Well, not only do I expect to hear that term more often in the near future, but apparently the ultra-wealthy Saudis are now downsizing. A few Saudi families made billions and billions in the 70s and 80s dealing in oil. The royal family that keeps growing has members of the family who have never worked or contributed any way to society or the economy of the country. They just live off the massive wealth of the royal family. Well, it turns out that the non-producing offspring of the non-producing offspring of the non-producing offspring have been spending more money than the family can now afford. That means that the royal family needs to downsize. They have been selling assets by the millions. In fact, they sold more than $600 million worth of real estate, yachts, and artwork since the kingdom's de facto ruler tightened the purse strings of the ultra-wealthy ruling family. Some royal family members are selling assets abroad, generating cash. The Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom's 36-year-old de facto ruler, dried up many of the resources of money they had used to maintain their extraordinary spending habits. Right? Is this a tell of the economy to come across the world? It may be. I'm going to tell you it's a small tell, but nevertheless, I would take it seriously. Remember, these guys are in oil, and if the new oil crisis isn't enough for the Saudis to make enough money to live their lavish lifestyles, to me it might be a signal at an increase in oil prices or maybe an increase in illegal activity. Hey, you never know what happens when you take away a binky from an infant. Sometimes they are calm, and sometimes they throw a tantrum. I think these guys are going to throw a tantrum. By the way, if you have Lamborghini stock, I would suggest selling it on the news. Hey, let's take a quick break. We'll see you in a minute.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Felder Mel Cohn and Larry Steinhouse about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend investor schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. Investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, if you're watching online, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. Hey, I see a bunch of you guys watching for the first time. Hit that like button, hit that share button. We totally appreciate you sharing. All right, right now, the futures they're moving back down. The futures are down. The Dow is down 230, the S&P is down 33, and the NASDAQ is down 113. It's going to be an interesting day. I'm going to talk about that in a little while. Hey, we talked about yesterday's event. It was fantastic. Doug Mastriano is my hero. We talked about the Saudis downsizing. Coming up, we got electric lawn equipment, and we got China locking down again. And then, of course, we have today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button? Come on, hit that share button. Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home and let me know what you think of the show. Hey, once again, of course, you know that I got my book coming out. I'm going to tell you about that some more. But go to barnesandnoble.com, look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Pre-order it. I promise you're going to learn something. There are chapters in this book about how to make more money and chapters about how to pay less taxes. I'm telling you, you want to make less taxes? You definitely want to read this book. You want to make more money? You definitely want to read this book. So go to barnesandnoble.com, order Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. All right, let's take a look at the second half. Let's get into electric lawn care equipment. You know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's a trend in lawn care equipment. Have you noticed that when you go into Home Depot, they have boxes on boxes on boxes of lawn equipment that runs on batteries? And it happens to be a great alternative to the loud and hard to start engines that we've been used to. Well, you know, you would think that most people will naturally just start to gravitate towards them, and of course they are. So in time, you know, everybody will probably have an electric lawnmower, an electric gas cutter, you know what I mean, right? In fact, just like any new technology, people will adapt, and most are happy with the technology. But it's when it's forced upon you that not only do you object, but it ends up costing more. Well, of course, the most communist state in the nation, California, is set to ban the sale of most gas-powered lawn tools starting with model year 2024. So we got 2 years and you can't buy any gas products anymore. Ugh. Local governments in Oakland, California and Lexington, Mass. Have started banning the use of gas-powered leaf blowers, and other states and cities are considering similar legislation. So what could be the problem? It can only be good to move to electric, right? Well, yeah, it is. It'll be great to move to electric. But there are so many great benefits, of course there's some problems. But the biggest problem currently is the cost. Imagine having a barely surviving landscaping business, and now you have 2 years to replace all your equipment that you still haven't paid for yet with electric equipment. Look, you know, these guys, they come over, they cross the border, they open up these lawn care companies, and now you're going to force them to buy electric equipment? I mean, that's just not fair. I'll let you guys think about that for a minute. All right. Nobody is happy about it except for all the green battery manufacturers, said a landscaping business owner in California. When interviewed, this owner of a landscaping company said he would probably have to raise his prices and try to pay for the new legislation. You know, if government would just let the world adapt to new technologies, it would just happen naturally. Stop forcing it upon us. Oh, just stop it. It's amazing. Wow, look at that. Bill Spadea actually commented on my show this morning. I am so happy. Thank you, Bill. That is really, really nice of you. I know you're probably back to your show and didn't even notice, but thank you so much. That's awesome, man. Thank you. All right, we also had the China lockdowns. Hey, if you ever wanted proof of the idiocy of the past 2 years, just look at China. China is still continuing to have rolling lockdowns, mask mandates, and vaccine mandates. The rest of the world has either revolted against this or has agreed that the case count or death count is not a reason for alarm anymore. So is China an island where the virus still exists? No, of course not. China is about control and about making sure that obeying the government is the ruling law. There were even rumors in the beginning of the COVID mess that China may have released this virus just to control their people. Hey, YouTube, look it up before you ban me. Well, in Beijing, restaurants stocked up on essentials in anticipation of more possible lockdowns as China capitals began to have mass COVID-19 tests of people living or working in the city's Xianyang district. And it's a favorite location for foreign multinationals, embassies, and global media organizations. So now they are testing everyone. Of course there's going to be positives. In a large group of people, there will always be somebody with a common cold. Beijing authorities are racing to prevent a repeat of the chaos and food shortages, that an economic disruption and public anger caused by Shanghai's severe lockdown, which is now entering its 5th week. The good news is that even the Chinese are starting to revolt. Yes, the Chinese are starting to revolt. Yes! They're definitely going to have a tougher time than we did, but it's a start for sure. Just remember, you can make the United States China, or you can make the United States Florida. It's up to you. And look, that's going to bring me to something important and about the subject of voting. At our event yesterday, I asked people if they trusted the voting system, and of course, the audience was in agreement that they didn't. Well, then I said that the Democrats are doing a great job of proving to Republicans that they are wasting their time voting. Well, I've come to the conclusion, don't believe it. One of two things can happen when you vote. You could be on the right side, and you could say that you could be right that your vote doesn't count, and fine, that's fine. But if you're wrong and your vote does count and you didn't vote, you're a contributor to the fraud. So I'm telling you right now, make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. Hey, we'll see you in a minute. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I'm a financial literacy expert. Yeah, I know, you've heard that a lot. That a lot of people out there call themselves financial literacy experts, but I promise you that in my new book, Money Hacks, this book is also subtitled, by the way, because everything you think you know about money is wrong. But I promise you, in this book, you're going to learn things that you never knew about money, and it's going to help you make more money and pay less taxes. I'm actually going to have a book signing and a dinner to celebrate my new book. That's going to be at the Sheraton in Oxford Valley on June 1st at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to sign this book for you right now. And you are going to be able to get this signed copy when you come. I hope to see you then. All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And look, I'm really hoping you guys will make that book launch on June 1st. Go to moneyhacksbook.com to register. It's $27. Help us pay for the meal. It's going to be a really great meal, actually. They actually charge us more than $27, but we'd love to have you there. The jacket I'll be wearing at the event will even match the book cover. All right, right now the futures are down 215, the S&P is down 32, and the NASDAQ is down 110. Hey, we talked about yesterday's event, and it's great. Thank you, Bill, for watching my show. I'm honored that you're watching my show, that you took time out during the break to watch my show. That's really, really sweet. That's awesome. Bill is such a great guy. All right, we also talked about the fact that Saudis are downsizing. We talked about electric lawn equipment being mandatory, and we talked about China locking down again. And coming up, we have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, let everyone know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information. You could share it in your page or groups that you feel will benefit from great stock plays. And of course, you can leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And of course, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, please set one of your presets to this station and listen every day at 7:30. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen today. The futures are still scary. We have Asia dropping the way it did. It's not going to be a good day in the beginning. I do have to say that I have a little bit of hope in the experience that tells me that after a large down day, the market often starts out bad, but ends up good. So, we are continuing into earnings seasons, and that could be good or bad right now. Wall Street is definitely spooked by Netflix last week. I'm looking at cruise stocks right now as great plays. We have pent-up demand, and the fear of the virus or scamdemic is leaving us, and that will bring this industry back quickly. I really like CCL as a play because it's low-priced and has high potential. Even in a recession, people travel, and cruises are actually an economically great way to get more money and see more places in a short time. Now, I go on cruises, and I go first class on cruises, a little bit different. But you could go to cruises. I mean, you could take a cruise for $800 in a week, and you could visit 3 different islands. I'm telling you, this is a great place to take a trip. I am watching also the airline stocks for some cracks so I can dive back in. And it looks like, I may lose on some plays like Meta and Boeing, but I can't always be right. I like AT&T, and I like some of the other high dividend paying stocks with good multiples. They are not only, safe places to put your money, but they make good cover call plays. Coca-Cola reported earnings this morning at about 7, and they did great. The stock barely moved for now, but again, with Coke with the symbol KO is a nice steady play, nice steady buy and hold. My thoughts for today is look for this morning to scare you, and then this afternoon will probably be a comeback. All right, real quick, let's take a final look at the futures. The Dow is down 243, the S&P is down 34, and the Nasdaq is down 112. Hey, crypto is about 38,000. At least Bitcoin is up about 38,000 again. Ethereum is about 2,800 again, and I'm still looking for them both to go lower. Gold and silver are surprising me right now. I actually expected them to move up, but they are moving down. Gold is still above 1,900, but it's barely above 1,900. I actually expect it to start to settle around 2,000 soon. So the Treasury bonds, the bond rate is below 2.9, but obviously, it's not going to be great for mortgage rates. Part of the problem we're having right now is mortgage rates are at 7 or above, 7%. So you go and you get a mortgage, your mortgage rate is above 7% right now if your credit score is not 740 or above. So that's amazing. And even 740 above, it's still 6.5. It's terrible. It's just not good at all. Hey, I just noticed Mark Cumberland. Hey, Mark who also does a show with us on the other station. He does a show with us on PHT. His show is called Good News and Radio. So look at all these radio people getting together and talking. All right, I also want to thank the listeners, of course, on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. Of course, from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed on this show. And no one has asked me to make these opinions. I definitely make them all by myself. And the joke is that some people ask me not to. All right, you guys have a profitable day.